Hello, Internet.
We're back.
Merry Christmas.
We're back to Cross the Talk.
It has been 7 months since we played the first episode of this game.
What?
The world has ended, and we are coming to you live from the past.
I don't remember who she is or who I am.
So this is Silent Hill 4.
3.
I really want to know what's on that
Three
Here we
placard.
go.
So this is where it starts saying Cafe Tirn, Aill, and all the signs start saying Yggdrasil.
That's awesome.
That is really cool.
I had never noticed that.
That sound
I didn't notice
effects.
it until I read it up on the... Also, there's the lumber room.
Yeah, it's for the furnace.
I'll buy it.
For about how much?
So yeah,
Yggdrasil.
God damn it.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that's really neat.
And I didn't notice that until I read it up on the wiki, actually.
Yeah, it's like impossible to read too.
Yeah.
So we were speaking of
Cathedral.
how amazing this fucking music is and the ambient atmospheric sound. We were just talking about the music for this game and how this is all one track.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a song. You could look it up and listen to it on YouTube at your leisure.
Yeah, I think I didn't know until I was actually linked the soundtrack to this. I thought that like it was the ambience was a separate thing, and then they queued up the other noises to play on top of it. But no, it's all just part of the soundtrack.
Yep. And that's how impressively scripted this game, Silent Hill 2, Silent Hill 1, and Silent Hill 4 are. Because they're all like that.
And that's
Yeah.
also why the HD collection is hot garbage.
Yep. Yep.
Because the tracks are meant to loop seamlessly.
And they don't.
Yeah. Oh, it's sure dark out there.
It sure is dark. Are we going out?
There's no buttons for this elevator either.
Yeah, weird.
It's okay. Our radio's just playing static. There's no worries.
It's alright.
See, this is why I wanted so much for Shadows of the Damned to be good. Ugh.
Yeah.
Is this a dream?
Sounds like just wiggling a bologna sandwich at her.
Oh, it's so good. Hey, it's our friend.
Yeah,
Bloody
is our
field.
I've had elevator rides like this. Not exactly like this, but similar in experience.
You were on a floor that went up and it went down.
Not even a kid could believe in this.
I really hope there are no kids that believe in this.
When am I going to let go?
What I really, really appreciate about this elevator ride is that nothing pops out at you. It doesn't leap out at you. It doesn't try and like jump scare you. You just fucking watch.
Yeah, the stuff will pop out at you later.
Yeah,
But
when you
it's-
have control, you can feel helpless all on your own.
Yep.
Um,
It's so perfect. Oh. Yeah, the story I have about the soundtrack to Silent Hill 2, actually, I believe. I guess it must have been this one because it was the track you just linked, Amanda.
Oh yeah, Where Am I? It's what plays when you're on the roller coaster in the beginning sequence.
Yeah, would you like to go ahead and provide your description of that track for me?
Oh, that track is great. It's one of my favorite tracks in the whole entire Silent Hill 3 music library. It's just about a minute or so of soothing ambience, I guess. It's kind of quiet, kind of low. And then a horse scream and the sound of something being eviscerated. It's my favorite.
Easy listening.
Look it up on YouTube.
So
It's called Where Am I?
Amanda's description of that song and her sending me that song along with, I believe, Maria's theme from Silent Hill 2
Oh.
was my first introduction to Silent Hill in any way, shape, or form beyond the first movie.
I didn't know that was your first.
Yeah, it was. This was, I want to say, 3 years ago, something like that. Yeah, 2012 or so.
Oh man.
We were just talking, and I was talking about how I think it was like right after. I want to say it was like right after we like had a discussion about Silent Hill or something like that, where I was like, I don't know much about it, but it seems awesome.
And I said I had a lot of feelings. Let me share
of course
them.
you did. Yeah, and you sent me the music, and I listened to that track, and it just like. It was such a surreal experience listening to just that track without the music, or without the video game
Without
playing.
the context.
Yeah, and I just was like, what the shit? And so, of course, I had to learn immediately about it. I am a smart man, and so I looked up Silent Hill LP, and you know what the first hit was?
What?
It was a Homecoming full LP. And I watched the entirety of it.
Oh.
And you're like, man, why do people like this?
Oh.
No, at that point I understood, like, oh, this is not a good Silent Hill. But I watched the entirety of it because it was like, this seems interesting.
There's a wall here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to fill out my map, so I didn't go back. So one of the things that's interesting about this area is that these corridors are just wide enough that you can get around you can kind of juke around the closers. But you got to make sure that they don't follow you in a pack, because if they come in a big wall, then they're gonna fuck your day up real good.
Yeah, they are.
So you gotta, but it's a very good level design that they made it so that the closers can kind of box you in, but not quite enough.
You can feel that sort of like
You can feel dread, but you still
uncomfortable-
have a chance to escape.
Yeah.
claustrophobia, yeah. But
So,
it's still a game. Go ahead, James.
so
Oh yeah,
this
warning
is for,
when you leave, please turn off the light.
all right. It will be obvious if they are not turned off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I realize why I'm not as mad about Silent Hills as you guys are.
Why?
Shadows of the Damned.
Suda 51.
Suda 51, Shinji Mikami, and Akira Yamaoka on the music.
Yeah.
It was okay.
Yeah.
It
was very silly.
fine. Like, Mikami and Suda were both deeply disappointed by the end product, and it was still fine.
I think it was. I think it ties with Lollipop Chainsaw for the okayest of Suda 51's games.
Yeah, that's why I'm not too disappointed when Dream Team projects fall down.
Yeah, I mean, and we can kind of talk about that a little bit because we were discussing it before we were on recording. But you know, what I'm really sad about Silent Hill's failing and not really coming through is not that like I was looking for like the like most amazing, utterly revolutionary game ever. Like it's not that I was, you know, expecting it to reinvigorate the franchise and like provide a redemption for it or anything along those lines. I was just really sad that
This shirt will help you.
yes, this shirt is helpful. I was really sad that Guillermo del Toro
He just keeps
is
getting the
probably
shaft.
never going to do a video game project ever again.
Yeah.
Well, as it stands now, as someone who's been a Silent Hill fan for a very long time, there are more games in the franchise now that can be considered bad than there are good ones.
Yes.
And
Are you
that
kind of
is
pachinko machine?
Well, I mean, it's kind of the way that it's been going, and it's very unfortunate, and you know, it's the whole problem with Konami, and it's kind of the problem with, you know, horror in general is that it is
Well, Konami's
doing it-
Konami's
doing
also
it
said
well-
that they're not like making any more Metal Gears. I think too. Like,
Oh no. They definitely have said they will be making plenty of Metal Gear games in the years to come. They just won't have Kojima attached to them.
Yep.
The report that that came out that was saying that Konami wasn't going to be making any AAA games anymore was from the developer of the Fox engine. He left Konami before either before or right after the Kojima fiasco went down, when Konami basically was like, yeah, we're not going to use this engine for anything else. You know, it's attached to Kojima, etc., etc. And so he basically was like, nah, fuck it, I'm out, because, you know, he made this amazing engine and it's not going to be used. Also, it is an incredible engine. Like, it is probably the most advanced thing to come along for video games in a really goddamn long time.
Matt, you're terrible at directions.
Yeah, you're so bad at this.
It's just a straight hallway.
I've said it.
But he basically was like, yeah, apparently they're not, going to be making any AAA titles. And recently, very recently, in fact, I think either this week or just last week, Konami came out saying, yeah, no, we're going to make more Metal Gears, guys. We definitely are. They'll just be the quality of our other IPs that you've come to expect, i.e. bad.
Also, I'll point out there that the first time I played this, it took me 45 fucking minutes to find this door because it is not marked on the map and it does not look like a door.
Yep.
And
hooray, impossible space.
One of the things that we're going to see here now that we're in the dark a lot, and I think you're going to notice, I think this is a thing that just wasn't noticed back in SD and in 640 by 480, but you'll notice that there's like a weird effect around Heather, which basically the way they do depth of field and like defocus and the shading effects is they kind of put a mask over everything else, and the mask doesn't quite fit Heather's silhouette. So all the time you'll see kind of a weird halo around her that is of things that are strangely in focus and strangely bright.
That's interesting. That's actually a clever way to do it.
Yeah, and you can see it I think you see it. You can see it a little bit in 4 too.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of how they do that thing. You can see it the most clearly in the cutscenes when they zoom in on somebody.
Gotcha.
By the way, I would love to be the interviewer that was talking to them when they made that announcement.
Yeah.
It will have the same quality as our other franchises. Name 5 without looking them up.
Yeah.
The future is scary, but not in the good way.
And also we were talking about interesting things when it happened, but I'll take some time to review the bulletproof vest. You might have noticed that I got it and I didn't equip it immediately, and
It makes you slower.
It makes you slower and it wears out your endurance faster. So I will specifically equip it anytime that I'm going into combat, which means I'm going to go through Silent Hill the menus some more.
Don't love it.
Look, it was a complicated time, and Heather needed money.
And we start seeing here the sort of the aesthetic of the other world, which is a return to form to Silent Hill 1. A lot of like red and orange rust tones, a lot of barbed wire, a lot of fluid that kind of looks like blood but maybe isn't.
Yep.
And I believe this is all inspired interchangeably from Jacob's Ladder and Session 9.
Yes, it is. Which are both fantastic points of reference to draw upon from.
Yeah.
I forget.
Excuse me.
I also like Heather's observation, like, oh, somebody took this necklace. Too bad, I would have taken it.
I would have shoplifted that if it hadn't been shoplifted.
Did I stream those movies for you guys? No.
We watched Session 9.
Yes.
No, we watched Session 9 in person, and then the first time you guys came down to visit, we watched Jacob's Ladder.
Yeah. The only problem is it's heavier and harder to move. So, one thing that always kind of disappointed me is that I kind of wished Heather's character model changed a bit when she put the vest on.
Yeah.
She puts it on under her other vest, I believe, is the conceit they use.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, there are enough costume changes in this game if you finish it once that...
Yeah, which is honestly how you're supposed to wear them, so that kind of makes sense.
Well, no, there's some are some that are specifically concealed, and there's some that aren't.
Right.
Like concealed vests are a different type of vest.
True enough.
You know where I want to see the franchise go?
Where?
I want to see the rights somehow fall into the hands of a small, dedicated developer.
Okay.
That develops it for the Oculus Rift.
Mm.
Oculus Rift horror is amazing when done right.
It's very good.
True.
Some
on
say
that
it is
note-
done too well.
On that note, if you haven't seen it, and I only found out about it today, Allison Road looks
Yeah,
really good.
that is true, and I'm pretty sure that has Oculus Rift support.
They
doesn't it?
are absolutely developing
Oh
it
yeah,
for the
no,
Oculus
because
Rift.
it's the fuck it's somebody wanted PT to be longer, and so they made it into a game.
Somebody
Yeah.
wanted PT.
So
yeah, I mean,
Somebody
they wanted it.
PT to be a game instead of just a trailer for a game that didn't.
Well, and also for it to exist.
Again, yeah.
Because it currently doesn't.
Well,
and
there's another
apparently never will.
version. Somebody remade. There's somebody who did a really good remake of PT in the Unity engine. I believe the game is the program's
that
actually
the-
called Punity.
Nice. Is that the Deliverance game?
No, but I
no,
know which
it's-
one you're talking about.
They actually
Yeah.
just remade PT, like specifically they remade.
Yeah, in Unity.
They
It's
just
got-
flat out recreated it.
It's
Yeah.
not perfect.
It's not
got its
perfect,
well,
but
obviously not.
it looks fucking great for a Unity game.
Yeah, Unity's pretty good these days.
as
Yeah,
long as
no,
you know how to use it and you don't end up with these weird blocky bits all over.
Mhm.
yeah. When you know how to properly like use lighting engines and stuff, and you don't get the Unity effect as it's
Yeah.
been known.
Yeah. So yeah, I go check out the Kickstarter for Allison Road. It's pretty sweet. It'll probably be funded by the time this goes up.
Yeah. Imagine being able to take that elevator ride that Heather took.
Yeah.
Just look around, see everything in first person, with it stapled to your face.
Yeah. I think jump scares would probably be banned.
No.
They show up a lot in Oculus games or in
Yeah, I
games.
I know.
I know one game that we'll talk about other games while we're talking about this. While we're talking about this game, Dread Halls actually had a very interesting Oculus
Yes.
mechanic. In
Oh,
that the
cool.
Dread Halls is a dungeon crawl through darkness kind of. But the thing
nice.
is that you have a map out at all times, but the only way you can see it is to look down.
It allows you to do a lot of really cool triggers about things that happen when you aren't looking at them.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Layers of Fear has also got Oculus support too, and that's another
Yes.
game that I want to try and play
It does indeed.
because there's a lot of art in it.
Do any of you know if Spooky's House of Jump Scares got Oculus support?
I'm pretty sure it does.
That was cool. That was a cool game.
Barbecue dog.
Yay!
Also, I love that there's a place setting for one.
Yeah, somehow I never noticed that.
Why is the
Mhm.
barbecue dog not in the movie?
I'm pretty sure
Because
that's
they had to they had to get rid of it to make room for Scary Pop Tart, Heather's true nemesis.
pretty sure that's not the right fork. For
Heather's
this
true
kind of meal.
nemesis, the jump scare.
Although Heather is found, Heather has never seen eating the Pop Tart, although she does break it into smaller pieces.
I'm pretty sure there are no jump scares in 2, 3, and 4.
That's incorrect.
No, yeah.
I think there
mannequin.
are occasional ones, but it's not the real like meat and potatoes of Silent Hill.
Is there ever confirmation on what the health drink is supposed to be?
Isn't it from Silent Hill 1? It's been too long.
It was the drug that was imported, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember what that's called. I'll look it up.
But like it's been explained at some point.
I don't know if it's
not
been
just
explained.
not just a health soda.
It's at the very least been named.
Yeah, that's good enough for me. You know.
Yeah.
Also, I hate adventure logic. These shirts won't help. Oh, sick, a walnut. Beef jerky. Oh yeah.
Wasn't it White Claudia? Wasn't that the name of the drug that like is in Silent Hill 1?
Nah, that was the antagonist.
Let's see.
Roll it off. Roll it off.
Uh,
Okay.
I mean, you
Let's see
can't.
if the
I know.
That would be effort. Heather doesn't have that.
Oh God.
Oh, God,
Anyway, I think
there's a
in
light
later
thing with
games-
wheels in the way.
I think in later games it's just sort of shrugged off to be like health drink, you know,
Yeah, no,
nutrition
it's
drink.
Oh yeah, that's another thing that's interesting that the closers have. You can see it
little
there from the
switchblades.
attack. They have blades that are hidden in their fucking arms.
Yeah, they don't just push you and punch you, they stab you.
Yeah, and there's a thing that I forgot to mention. If you're able to actually look at the full character model, if you're able to look at the full character model for the closer, there's actually something written on the back of its head. Let me see. It's okay. Yeah, there's some Japanese text on the top of the closer's head that translates literally to like Lotus Sutra.
Huh.
The Lotus
Apparently-
Sutra is the text on which Buddhism is founded.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Apparently, the health drink does not have an item beyond, or does not have a name beyond the fact that it's sort of referred to as nutrition drink or dietary supplement or med plus.
Okay, so it goes interchangeably between this is a healing thing.
Yeah, there's
it's full of
Plus.
nutrition, so it goes back and forth between interchangeably being it's a healing thing and eat food to get health.
Yeah, it is medicine or it is a dietary
It is
supplement.
turkey in the wall.
So
Yeah,
it is,
basically.
It's acai blueberry pomegranate vitamin water.
I think it's similar. I think it's more like a protein shake kind of thing. And now we
Yeah.
kind of come to the combat mechanics of Silent Hill 3, which are a little. I kind of got the hang of them, but they're sort of fidgety. There is so when you're in ready mode, if you have a melee weapon equipped, or when you're in caution mode, when you have a melee weapon equipped, if you press the run button, Heather will block. But this is not a toggle and is not a hold button. Blocking is a very timed sort of like parry move.
Oh,
And
that's interesting.
She will
It's a
only put
system.
her weapon up for about a second if you push the button, and then she'll put it down, and then there's like a brief cooldown timer, so you can't just spam it.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever blocked.
I do some
Ever.
blocking. I do some blocking later on because it's super useful against the split against the double heads. Because although the thing that's even more useful against the double heads is learning the timing for their jumps, which I eventually do, and I'm able to
And
start
a
swatting
gun.
them. I'm able to start swatting them out of the air.
Nice. Pro strats.
I don't. I do it interchangeably often and not very often.
Oh man, I wonder if the health drink had a lawsuit attached to it, like vitamin water did.
How do you mean?
The vitamin
Vita-
water did not have vitamins in it.
Right.
Yeah.
The lawyer had the most ballsy defense I've ever heard. He said there is no reasonable way that there's no way that a reasonable person would think this was a health drink. It's like, wow.
So he did an ad hominem argument against everybody.
Yeah.
Against
You're not
every
stupid, right, are
prosecutor.
you?
It's creepy and dangerous to boot.
Okay,
I'm not
that
gonna
is
walk through all
that is
these
not a
fucking-
teen figure of speech. That's creepy and dangerous to boot.
Well,
this is my
also
favorite
keep in
puzzle.
mind that this is translated.
It's
So
like the fucking mystery machine in here.
And also, again, like Heather's like, I'm not gonna walk through. There's a bunch of moths in the way.
Yeah, see, that I would get behind. It's like, shit, who put all these moths here?
No, this is the best thing because not only is she not gonna walk through it because there's all these mobs here, we're
She's gonna
going
take-
to
we're
make
going to take-
poison.
We're going to
Oh,
take
yeah,
the
we're
most
going to make-
dangerous way to remove the moths possible.
we're going to make chlorine gas, and it's gonna be great.
Does a flamethrower also work?
Hey, that marks 2 games that feature chlorine gas on the Drunken Ugly.
Yes.
Don't come after us, FBI. We're just gamers.
It's it's okay. It's not
You
us
can
they'd be
barely
coming
be
after.
considered that.
Yeah, that's true.
You go, veiny dinosaur.
You can do it. You're gonna make something of yourself. You're gonna live a long and happy life.
God,
Well,
no!
I stabbed it right in the butt's butt.
Right in the butt.
Right in the anus.
Continue stabbing.
The story of Heather Mason.
Yeah, considering the allegory you've been bringing up so far, I'm really glad that, implausible though it was, the coat hanger was put to that particular use.
Yes.
Yep. It's okay. There'll be more of that.
But God, that was an implausible use of a coat hanger.
I mean, if it's interesting to think about what this game is and maybe to fantasize over what it could have been if it were made today by a different developer, maybe.
It
How
was
do you mean?
localized better,
Which-
maybe?
Well, no,
which
I mean
developer
more
and
like
which today?
how it's very it's subtle in what it's in the message it's trying to convey, while also being pretty overt if you're looking at it the right way and everything like that. If you try to tell a story, and I actually had this argument when we were talking about the movie, because I have a friend who actually really likes, unironically, Silent Hill Revelation 3D.
I thought it was alright.
And I was talking to him about it and about what the story of Silent Hill 3 is and why the movie's not that, and he told me, like, if you were to try to make a movie or any sort of, like, media today about a young teenage girl struggling through this horror of, like, an unwanted pregnancy, there's no way you could get that past anything and anyone, and it would either be handled very poorly or just be a big mess.
I think
I think there's a
that's-
chance. I think there's a chance for it, but it would need a different.
Yeah, I think that's the primary problem. Is not that you couldn't get it to go through or be put together, but that the necessary complexity that you need to convey for that subject is so immense that it would fall apart. And
Yeah,
I think-
the thing is, you can't make it. I think that's a thing. It's a good point that Silent Hill is like a 15-hour game, so you can't like.
Can we go full spoilers at this point and just kind of talk about this, because
Spoilers! Here it goes!
well, no, and I guess we won't, because that's
Episode-
kind
It'll
of
come. It'll
defeating
come up on its own.
Yeah,
Um,
I really want to have this conversation.
There's
We'll
plenty
get
of time
there.
to have that conversation.
Take
Yeah.
a note.
Suffice to say that
It would have to
The-
be. It would have to be an Oscar season movie, and it would have to be a very, very different movie.
And that's
Yeah, it would-
definitely not what Revelation 3D...
no, it was not. But
Revelation 3D was a very, very different movie.
yes, but there's I think a definite argument that even this game, in certain instances, kind of fails to convey the complexity of that.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I think that you were definitely right in you described how sometimes it is extremely overt in the ways that it deals with that. I think it probably comes closer to being as accurate to the truth of that, in the context of its horror, than anything else could be,
Yeah.
and I think that's where it succeeds.
Man, if you don't know what we're talking about, this past, 7 minutes must... you must,
Well, I mean,
clocked out.
the themes are already here, and they're pretty easy to talk about without being spoilery. Is that, like you said, it's an unwanted pregnancy. It's there are extreme themes of body horror relating to impregnation.
There's a lot of, and there's also a lot of things that look like vaginas.